Hello, it's Wednesday of Holy Week, and I am Pastor Kelly McQuaig of Grace United Methodist Church of Alamogordo and Tularosa, New Mexico. And it's been such a blessing to journey with so many of you day after day after day this week, discovering a hymn that can help us understand the path of Christ to the cross more and more and more. As a Methodist pastor, I'm inclined to turn to the hymns of Charles Wesley, one of the great founders of the particular tradition that I find myself a pastor in, and many of you are worshipers in our congregations. Again, he wrote thousands upon thousands of hymns, and unfortunately we only really sing a handful of them throughout the year. But of his anywhere between 7,000 to 13,000 hymns, we have a lot to choose from. And there are many that help us understand the heart of Christ more and more. One of the things that we often neglect during Holy Week is to think about the human side of Christ. Now, we consider it when we think about his death, but do we consider Christ's humanness when we think about his fear, maybe, or his anxiety, or his trepidations going to the cross? I mean, we see it very powerfully in the Garden of Gethsemane as he is praying before he is captured by the authorities. He is literally asking God to remove this burden from him. He says, "Take this cup from me, but not my will, but your will be done." That's sort of that human and that divine trapped in one. You see the humanness and his fear and his desire to not go through this, but also his willingness to submit to his Father, and it's a powerful, powerful image. I wonder if throughout this week, if a psalm like Psalm 130 was on Christ's mind. Hear these words before we go into today's hymn. Psalm 130, verses 1 through 6 says this: "Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications. If you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, Lord, who could stand? But there is forgiveness with you, so that you may be revered. I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in his word I hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than those who watch for the morning, more than those who watch for the morning." So in that psalm, in those brief 6 verses, we get that same experience that Christ was going through. Out from the very beginning, we hear the psalmist crying out to God. "Out of the depths I cry to you, Lord, hear my voice." But then towards the end, we hear we hear the psalmist say that I'm still going to wait for the Lord. I'm crying to you, but I'm still trusting that you're there for me. And so today's hymn is a hymn that starts with the words, "From the depths I cry, O Lord." And may this be our prayer in our own lives this week as we continue to journey through Holy Week, but also as we are experiencing Holy Week in the midst of a global pandemic where many of us are truly turning to God and wondering, "Lord, where are you?" So may this hymn be a blessing to you today. This hymn can be sung to the tune of "Rock of Ages, Cleft for Me," and that's how I'll be singing it for you today. Here is "From the Depths I Cry to You, O Lord," by Charles Wesley. From the depths I cry, O Lord, hear my supplicating word, hastening to eternal death. Jesus, Lord, I cry to thee. Help a feeble child of earth. Show forth all thy power in me. Only you can hear my call. Blessed Savior, friend of all. Well thou knowest my desperate case. Thou my curse of sin remove. Save me by thy richest grace. Save me by thy pardoning love. Thy dear love is all my plea. Lord, thy cross speaks out for me. By thy pangs and bloody sweat, by thy depth of grief unknown, save me gasping at thy feet. Save, oh save thy ransomed one. What hast thou now done for me? Think, O Lord, on Calvary. by thy mortal groans and sighs, by thy precious death I pray. Hear my dying spirit's cries. Take, oh, take my sins away. How are you crying out to God on this Wednesday of Holy Week? Don't be afraid to cry out to him. Don't be afraid to take your deepest fears, worries, anxieties, your darkest sins, your deepest troubles, your most burdensome burdens to him. Cry out to God today because he can hear you. And as you cry out to him, trust that he will answer. In fact, trust that he has already answered. He's answered through Christ our Lord, through his blood and sweat on the cross, and through his glorious resurrection, which we will be able to celebrate this Sunday on Easter. So cry out to God. He hears your cry. He has answered you. He is answering you. And he will always answer you. Because best of all, God is with us. Be blessed, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Holy Week Hymn of the Day for Thursday as we journey to the cross together. Be blessed. Take care.